Hello friends, welcome to Career Plan. Let's begin with our first lecture overview of marketing. So what is marketing all about? Is marketing advertisements? Is marketing sales? Is marketing something else? No, it's marketing is basically a communication between a company and people. What do you mean by communication? Marketing is an effort put in by the companies to reach out to the audience who will be the potential buyer. Now, potential buyer means a person who's very much highly likely to buy a product if positioned correctly, if marketed correctly, and if he gets interested. Marketing is an effort by the companies to make sure the message across the consumers get in a correct manner, the brand value is conveyed, the effectiveness of the product is conveyed, the product usefulness is conveyed, and the price is also competitive. Now, marketing is an effort to put all the propositions, all the value, all into one message which will be driven using advertisement and then using sales and during depictions, right? So marketing is basically just a message communication between an entity like a company and another person so that we can find potential buyers. Now, marketing did not exist from day one. There was trading from the beginning of the civilization. So when the civilization happened, people started trading using barter system, and then they started evolving the system of coins and the currencies, and till 1800s, there was nothing called marketing. There were people trying to sell their product or by glorifying the products in certain way, and that was effectively called marketing. But they were not known as marketing terms, right? So economists were trying to figure out that how to accomplish the cost or how to account for the cost which is incurred much before the product actually sold. Now, economists had figured out that there was significant cost incurred to sell the product, which can be included like by printing pamphlets, by distributing all the stuff around to let people know that there was a product existing, and then there was a human effort to sell it manually. Now, in those days also, if you spoke to 10 people, then only one person bought the product. Now, the cost of talking to 9 people in the terms of time and money was huge, and economists were not able to find an account head under which they could have taken care of this. So they, in early 1900s, economists came together and figured out that let's do some term, and then invented the term called marketing. Now, marketing became an exercise to, as we discussed, to reach out to people, and all the costs were put under that. Now, marketing also helped in balancing the law of demand and law of supply. For example, marketing efforts were reduced if the supply was not enough but the demand was getting high, so that the market image is maintained, or marketing efforts were really pushed high so that the demand can be increased in the market. For example, if you don't market the product, people will not be aware of your product. So that means there is a supply lying in your inventory which is not being utilized because there is no demand, and demand is not there because people are not aware of it. So marketing actually helped create awareness, and in turn could actually control the law of demand and law of supply, so that equilibrium is maintained and companies don't run out of business very soon. Now, once the evolution of marketing happened, the concept of marketing became very eminent. People started working on it for a long time, and then the specialized field of marketing evolved over a period of time. And when the period evolved, in that period, 3 fundamental concepts came out called segmentation, positioning, and targeting. Now, segmentation is very, very simple concept. Segmentation is to identify potential buyers, potential customers, the people who are going to be interested in your product, the people who might like your product, and if they like it, they might end up buying it. And those are the people which have to be separated out. Now, let's say if Indian population is 1.25 billion, that means that a billion people are not your customers. They are not supposed to buy everything what you offer. But out of billion people, there might be 100 million people who might be a potential target. And to create those target markets, you need to identify those people. Now, identification of these potential customers is known as segmentation. How do we segment? For example, we will look at demographics, we will look at the location, we will look at other parameters to figure out the right market, to find the right segment. For example, if I want to target kids, for example, who are school going, in the age group of 5 to 10, English speaking, and they live in cities. For example, tier 1 cities like Delhi or Bangalore or Bombay. That is one market segment, and the total number of kids in that will be my target customer audience. Now, once the segmentation has been achieved, I need to position my product. Now, positioning is very, very straightforward again. Positioning is the message, the usefulness that has to be conveyed to the consumer. Now, positioning is in such a way that the customer gets the message right across in the face very clearly what the product does and whether it will be useful to, as a customer to me or not. Now, where let's say a car has been positioned in such a way that it belongs to a middle class. For example, Tata Nano. Now, Tata Nano was done like that hey, a customer can upgrade from a two-wheeler to a car in a cost of a two-wheeler, or just a bit more than a two-wheeler. That really was positioned well, and it approached like a family car. It did not go positioning as a very high-speed Jaguar or a BMW, but it was positioned like a family car, a very nice small concept car. Similarly, positioning is very important for a product, because if positioning is done wrong, a product will not sell well because people will not understand the usefulness of the product. So positioning the product in a right manner has to be done so that people understand the value of it and are ready to pay for it. Wrong positioning has happened in the market all the time, and that is because of the bad marketing strategies. For example, if you're trying to sell a comb to a bald person, that will not work. But if you're trying to sell an oil to a bald person, that will work. For example, and that's how the positioning is done. Once the positioning is ready and segmentation has been done, then you have to target the consumer. And the targeting is done through various means. Now, targeting of the consumer means is to reach out to the consumer. The consumer is getting aware of your product. That awareness is increased by marketing efforts, and that targeting is done through various means like advertising, by reaching out through online or offline media. Once the targeting is done, the marketing efforts are figured out nicely and all the cycle is complete. Now, is marketing advertising? Because we have talked about advertising a lot. Yes, marketing and advertising go hand in hand, but they're not the same. Marketing is a strategy. Advertising is a medium to deliver that strategy. Marketing defines the value proposition. Advertising depicts the value proposition. The difference between the two is a value proposition done by marketing cannot be seen, but advertising depicts, which means that it presents the whole value proposition in a form, in a way that you can see it. For example, a TV advertisements. You can see TV advertisement, but you don't understand the logic behind that TV advertisement, which has been done by the marketing strategist. The marketing strategist defines the whole strategy, which can be put together as a campaign, which contains different forms of advertising, which can be a TV ad, a newspaper ad, a website ad, a social media ad. All put together will define the strategy of the marketing and delivered through advertising. Now, advertising cannot exist on its own without a strategy. Any advertising done without a marketing goal, without a marketing strategy, without segmentation, without positioning, without targeting does not work, because it will be plain waste of time and money. People will not understand the message, and that's why advertising costs and marketing costs are running high, and that's why there are senior directors and very high level people, very high creative people are hired for designing advertising. Now, marketing is a very, very technical game, because it is just not about doing some commercials or doing some very creative exercise. It's all about how you're going to do data handling, how you're going to understand the consumer behavior. And people who are marketeers or successful marketers understand consumer behavior very, very well, because they understand the human psychology, they understand how people are going to buy, and once they understand that, they define the product in such a way that it gets consumed by the people. Now, when I say consumed, it doesn't mean that you have to eat the product, but by consumed, I mean is you'll be using the product. Now, once the product is ready and everything is shipped and people are getting aware, there are two modes of marketing which are done in the market. One is called online marketing and one is called offline marketing. Online is a very, very straightforward word called digital world or the internet world. Anything done on internet, anything related to marketing on internet is called online marketing. Social media, blog posts, content-driven strategies, everything happens on online world is an online marketing. Offline marketing is very straightforward again. Anything which you see non-internet world, newspaper ads, billboards, events, promotional offers, pamphlet distributions, people talking to you in person are all offline strategies of marketing. Both are really, really important. With only online marketing, no one succeeds. With only offline marketing, again, people have been working in the market, but the costs are really, really high. Only large companies are involved in offline marketing. For example, Tata's, Reliance, Apple, Google. A lot of people do offline marketing now. But online marketing can be done by anyone actually. For any small company, for a one-person company to a 100-member company, 200-member company is very, very effective because everyone is available online in a seamless group, right? Offline is a very cost-intensive business, and that's why marketing is very, very expensive there. Now, once we have done the bit of overview, let's look at a famous marketeers and famous companies who have been popular because of their strategies. Let's say Steve Jobs, the guru or the founder of Apple, has been there because everyone wants to buy an iPhone, everyone wants to own a Mac because it's aspirational. Apple has been driven by aspirational marketing. I don't need it, but I want to own it. And once I own it, I feel proud of it. And Steve Jobs created a very, very good campaign around it to make sure that Apple is always looked at as an aspirational product, a very high quality product. It can be owned by some people in the world. Not everyone is worthy of it. And that's what he created in the market as a myth called aspiration. Now, Disney is another company which was created by Walt Disney, and Disney is a very, very famous product again, and Disney is all over. If you look at that Disney products, they are available from television to Disneyland to everything around Walt Disney. The cartoons are really amazing, and the way they have been sold, the way product placements have been done, the strategies have been amazing. Richard Branson, he himself has been a brand ambassador for Virgin products, right? Virgin Airlines, Virgin Records, anything about his companies, and it has worked because he created a brand out of himself. And famous marketeers are generally good brands in themselves too. Bill Gates has been a very, very tech guy. He has been a programmer, but he still marketed Microsoft very well, and more than the marketing, Microsoft positioned product very well. The product positioning was so amazing that no computer in the world 20 years worked without Windows, right? And most of you are watching this video on Windows too, right? And then Amazon came in. Amazon targeted people very well. Amazon made sure that whatever they promised was delivered. And again, the positioning worked because they confirmed the positioning by saying that whatever we promised, we deliver. and Jeff Bezos is a very amazing guy on that. So these are the famous marketers and companies, and there are a lot more you can actually explore. If you search the internet, you'll find a lot of strategies, a lot of people who have done various things to figure out what is the right marketing strategy and make their famous products. Now with this, we come to the end of the first lecture. This was just an overview of marketing just to get started, and very soon we are going to delve into details of how exactly it all works. So in this session, we learned definition and evolution of marketing, marketing concept of segmentation, position and targeting, the difference of marketing and advertising, the difference of online and offline marketing, and about great marketers of the world. You should read a bit more about them. Thank you.